Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the very, very, very rare TRD General Chat on Monday, New Year's Day, January the 1st, 2018. And yes, I'm going to do that for a while because I'm not used to being 2018 just yet. Ask me that question again in another 3 months. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get everything finished being set up. There we are. That's what I was trying to do. And it's not going to let me do it that way. That's nice. So give me one moment here. Go over to this screen. This screen's a whole lot better. That screen is a whole lot better. There we go. Now I was over my Facebook page, and this all started with a post I made last night. And what happened was I was talking about the left being acting like it's a one-way street, like their way or the highway. Now I'm going to say this. I didn't phrase that very well, because I should continue that sentence. I should have said they're acting the same way Republicans did circa 1996. They really did. So it's one of those ones to where it's what I'm seeing right now. And like being here on YouTube, I know a lot of people watching the bowl games, and I think I want to say Georgia's getting slaughtered right now by Oklahoma. So a lot of people probably watch the replay say, Lance, what are you talking about? About 6 months ago, I talked about moral bankruptcy. Now I decided to change it into this year, being the start of the new year. We're talking social bankruptcy. And exactly what I mean, social bankruptcy. And I think the one viewer that's joining us right now, I see just bad things happening. I let everybody know I'm alive and I exist. I see something really, really bad from a society standpoint later this year. Now, I hate getting these feelings like this. I really do. I just see it happening. I really, really do. Don't know what yet. I don't. But keep that in mind. I see something bad happening. I have that bad feeling. And when it comes to politics, I'm right about 90% of the time. So I'm hoping I fall in that 10%. Now, I will say this. Before anybody watch this and go in the comments like, whoa, Trump, this, that. Wait a minute. I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about from a society standpoint. I watched the dumbing down of society for the last 15 years. So I kind of already saw this coming, but to a point now to where the way politics is set up in this country and the divisiveness, especially from the left, it's just something bad's going to happen, especially when you start last year when the congressional softball shooting happened. There was people applauding that. I think to myself, really? Then you go later in the year with Charlottesville. Then I found it comical what happened up in Boston, but the same thing in Dallas. Antifa actually got in a nice little squad with Black Lives Matter, which is the one nobody talks about from last year. Then you got the bike lock last year, or was that 2 years ago? No, it was beginning of last year, when the bike lock happened out in Berkeley. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, look it up. I just see bad things happening. Now you gotta bear with me. I'm trying to do multiple things at once. I gotta over check the other side. So Um, he's probably still eating, so I did put the link over for him. So it's one of those ones to where this is going to end well. 2018, I just don't see ending well at all. And a lot of it has to do with society. I think the best way to describe it is there's something nice about this, without swearing, getting loud, anything like that. And it's one of those ones where, and we have Mr. Jones joining us. Welcome.
Welcome. I don't think I've ever been on your political channel before.
Yeah, I rarely post when I do a live stream. It's the first one I've done in like 4 or 5 months. Beer's a whole lot easier, let me tell you.
So what's shaking your noggin tonight?
Well, as you can see when I did the live stream on Facebook, I had to get clarification to the post I made last night. And the weird thing about it was I wasn't even buzzed at the time when I made that post.
I don't know what the original post was. Something you had to clarify, you said.
Okay, now the original post was, let me pull it back up here. Hold on. So we're on the same page here. See, scroll. Yeah, when you go back and you start going back to stuff you try to catch up on, it makes it a little tough. And now I'm looking do it this way. Why am I doing it that way? Let me see here. Let's see. That was the post I made about the peeps. Okay, here's what I said.
Okay.
I'm directly quoting off my Facebook page. It says, "I cannot stand it." And this is more of a rant from some of the political pages I go on. It said, "Progressives not listening to what I have to say. I understand balance, and I still think that they still think it's a one-way street, right? But it feels like 1996, but in reverse. And I should have clarified that a little bit more."
Okay. I saw that comment. That was the initial comment there. Then
correct. That's why I've been on the fence. And you gave a good idea about doing the chat earlier today. But like I said, I've been unmotivated. But it's like I owe it to everybody on Facebook and everybody on my politics channel, because we're talking about it now, an explanation.
Right.
I mean, and Rob, you probably seen it out there how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in any political debates in a while or discussions as much, but I have stuff that I tend to post and everything to get people to think about things.
Yeah, and no, I totally understand it. It feels like now from Team Blues, like it felt like it's 1996 all over again, plus the internet. Duh. I mean, I'm seeing it's the shutdown culture right now. It really is.
Well, like I said, there's more like 1956 and something. So
you know, when you made that post, I started thinking about that for a minute. And
yeah.
like, you know what? It did. I won't say Red Scare, but I knew that's where you're going with it.
Well, there's a lot of different stuff, from the political climate to the racial climate to the corporate climate. There's a lot of different factors that are taking place that people aren't aware of, and are kind of letting things kind of slide through. So it's a dangerous time in my mind on some things.
Oh yeah, and it's like, and then right before you joined in, after you watching or hearing, I was talking about what's happened within the last year.
Yeah,
I mean, and we seen all the stuff at Berkeley, and the guy got hit with a bike lock, to the congressional softball shootings, and what happened in Charlottesville. You know, I thought what happened in Boston was hilarious.
Yeah.
And, you know, the same day in Dallas, Antifa and Black Lives Matter got into it bad, but nobody talks about that. Not because it was the same day.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different stuff happening, and I see a lot more probably on the horizon to probably happen as well. But it's not a surprise to me. It's kind of been expected, and the way I looked at stuff, it's been all settling pretty much like a boiling pot on the stove, and I was expecting it at some point for it to run over, and it seems like we're starting to hit that level.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I think you're gonna have a lull because it's wintertime, obviously, but it's one of those ones to where I just see, and I hate feeling like this because I'm usually right. Something bad's going to happen later this year. I just don't know what yet.
Well, good. I mean, just the environment is definitely right for it, I guess you could say. It wouldn't be surprising, and in a way, it's almost more surprising some of the stuff that hasn't happened that probably could have with some of the things taking place out there.
Correct. Correct. And I will say this, it's one of those ones to where, like I brought it up in the Facebook chat. I always talk about the moral bankruptcy in this country. Now, take it how you want with that. We know a lot of avenues, but now I'm seeing a lot more of the social bankruptcy, and that's a dangerous game to play. That's one topic I try to stay off of at all cost.
Yeah,
because especially on some of the pages I go on, that conversation turns to a dumpster fire real fast.
There's been a decrease in a lot of social type aspects of society over a period of time, and I think that also goes hand in hand with some of the education also falling as well.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with that. I mean,
there's definitely been a rise of ignorance too, so all those seem to go hand in hand.
Oh yeah, and it's like, and I'm just thinking now, it's like I've been doing something political wise in some way, shape, or form for 11 years. I mean, I'm smart enough to do research. A lot of people just not even doing that anymore.
You're smarter than our president then right now, because everything he says can be fact checked, and he's constantly wrong with stuff.
You know, I think that's intentional. Well, a lot of it's intentional just to get attention, but that's just a theory that I have. I just can't prove something like that.
Just like Hitler, if you tell lies long enough, people will start to believe them. So
correct. Actually, Joseph Goebbels said that. That was a quote from him.
This is the same strategy Hitler used.
No, it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, people are smarter than this. I know they are. They have to be.
I used to think people were, but not anymore. I mean, there's people that can't figure out your on the internet. So,
hey, no, wait, I'm just as guilty with that. My bad. I got to think about it and change it for a couple of minutes.
I mean, they're just simple. They're simple stuff that we used to learn in school that a lot of people don't have now. I think because we cut so much of the school systems on learning and stuff like that so many people just aren't as smart as what we used to be. It's supposed to be getting better with technology, and things are getting worse in some regards.
It is. And it's like
for people.
A lot of that is, I mean, and the media doesn't help with that either. But it's myself included.
Well, I think I've got a journalism degree, and I think there's parts of it with the media, but there's also parts where the media is not supposed to make it easy. And even if you went back to some of the writings that are founding fathers like Franklin, the journalism and newspapers aren't supposed to help prop up the government. They're supposed to hold it accountable. So they should be pointing out a lot of the stuff. Although you could say, there should be stuff going both ways, which there are some opportunities to do that aren't being done as well. So I can definitely say there's some more need to improve those regards. But again, when the media becomes a hand of government, then we're all screwed.
No, I totally agree with that statement. I totally agree with that statement. And
call us Russia East or something.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, that's a good one. And it's like, and then the perfect example is this last election, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said this took a lot of heat for 3.5 years with Clinton. She had them in their pocket, and nobody believed me. And after that election, people start talking about it. People have been talking about it forever. Really?
Yeah.
I saw from the moon, and it's and with the media now, especially the mainstream media,
right?
I just don't think they care anymore. I don't. I think it's how much ratings they can get, how many mouse clicks they can get.
I always knew it was going to be a hit issue with Clinton, just because she was always a how do you want to say, either you love her or you hate her type situation. So she had very little middle ground that can gain a lot of the people that were like the independents in the middle, like myself. But it was good. It was a weird thing. And they wanted to stick with her. And then when they screwed Bernie, it hurt a lot of the.
Oh, yeah, that turned a lot of people off right there, the way he got burned.
Yeah, I mean, everybody came out talking about Russia and the WikiLeaks and all that stuff, but it's like, yeah, but if you don't put that stuff in print either, you know, then nobody has anything to pull from the thing. It's kind of like there's a sense of privacy. I know they expect it, but if we have not learned anything from Enron, it's like don't ever put anything on a recorded line or send an email that might come back and bite you.
Yeah, got that right.
But people still do it, so
yeah, and it's like, and like now, like perfect example. Like I remember the election last year. I used to read the Hill a lot because they were pretty. Them and political is pretty impartial.
Yeah,
as far as new media, and I've seen so much, and excuse my language, so much shit posting from the Hill here the last year. I don't use them anymore.
Yeah, but at the same point, if it's the old lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. I mean, it's kind of like there's some things that are so blatant, it's almost like you can't look past it because they're so blatant. Like I said, a lot of these things that are being fact checked and found out to be, you know, not the same as what Trump says are so easily out there. It's like low hanging fruit. So it's almost like you have to call it. If you don't call it, then it's like, why didn't you call it type thing? So,
correct. Oh, absolutely.
Some of those things are out there like that. But to start like the first year, like he said, he's done the most legislative things of any president the first year. That was like so easy to go back and see that he did not do that. He had like 82 things or something. Like I think Obama was 96. I think Clinton was, you know, he was up there a lot more. But like Kennedy was like over 600 in his first year. Yeah. So it's kind of like there's things that you say that can easily be fact checked, and it's kind of like either he's got some type of Alzheimer's or dementia or something going on, or he just doesn't care. And he just says it enough that people will believe it. But at the same point, I'm kind of like he did come out and say you could shoot somebody in the center of New York Square and could still win. And I think some people do that because they're so deep in their rabbit holes right now.
Oh, they are.
Just like the whole Roy Moore thing, that some people are going to go with it regardless of being a pedophile. And people are willing to give up part of their soul now to get other parts of it, which to me is kind of crazy because I'm always like, you know, what people do and stuff like that on their own, that's on them. That's fine. They can do whatever they want to do. I don't, it's like the whole thing is like, that's, you want people that talk about they want less government in people's lives are the ones that are always like voting for people that are doing more government in people's lives, which doesn't make fully any sense to me.
Yeah, and then the same here. And it's like, and I'll be, and people who know me politically wise, I'm center right, but yeah. I understand, like I said, you need balance. I mean, I'm not the big, I don't want big government. Not, okay, let me back that statement up. I understand you need government because the country's got to operate. Right. I'm the first person to say cut down the military. I'm the first person to say it.
Right.
And there's a lot of miscellaneous stuff government-wise you can do, to trim it down.
Right.
But that's what our taxes go for. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, if I'm paying taxes, I expect services in return. That's how it works. So
well, yeah, your tax money is supposed to go to work for you, work for the society at whole and everything. So,
correct. There's why there's probably signs on the road that says your tax dollars at work. I can clearly see it. You've seen those signs.
I've seen them, yeah.
Not how the work is done is a different story, but it's working.
Not to settle sexual accusation cases,
Yeah.
But all that money spent on that, they should be paying out of their own pocket.
I hear that. No, but it's like, and a lot of times I get in trouble, and it's good for you to join me. I wanted to bounce some stuff off people. This talking to a monitor or a camera. I get in a lot of trouble for being a free speech absolutist. I don't care how bad the speech is. You have a right to speak it in this country.
Yeah.
And I took a ton of heat for that. A ton. It's like what happened.
That people don't like when you speak your mind, you mean?
Yeah, when people speak, not my mind personally, people speak their mind.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with Charlottesville. Now, say what you want about Spencer. I mean, he's a rat. That's the PG version. However,
right,
the ACLU with the bat for him, he got his day in court and won, and people got mad.
Yeah.
Which I never understood.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got issues, but yeah, I mean, he went in, he had his day in court. That's what the legal system's supposed to be set up. But people don't like the answers that come out sometimes. So yeah, I guess they do get bothered by that.
I mean, speak your mind. I mean, as long as it's accurate, I don't care, or causing a panic.
Yeah, of course. was accurate sometimes is a matter of your position or view at the time as well. So, correct. As we know from the legal system and some of the things that have happened there, and a lot of the people being let go now because of, you know, everything catching up to where people were kind of pretty much getting framed on stuff. So,
yeah, that well, depending what you're referring to this whole Me Too thing, or are you talking about something else?
No, just people out of jail. There was like a thing where like 15 men were just exonerated because of fake DNA, and there was the lab chemist up in Boston.
Oh, the one had like 15,000 or something like that.
Yeah, did like a bunch of stuff, and she only got like 4 years or something for it.
Yeah, I almost did a video on that.
Yeah,
and that made me so mad.
Every case she touched needed to be reviewed. I mean,
yeah, somebody like that who intentionally did that needs to be under the jail.
Yeah.
That's a moral injustice, you know.
But knowing a lot of that stuff out in the communities, especially like in our communities, is why there's a lot of trust with the police, because you see a lot of different things happen that shouldn't be happening, and the way the system is set up is kind of against you anyway. There's a reason why when people get arrested, like 90+% of the time, they just go ahead and plead down to a lesser charge, whether they're guilty or not, because they're being told, you know, they're going to get all this other stuff happen to them. They prefer to get people to plead down. And then you're in the system, and then you're locked out of other stuff, you know, for your rights and everything.
Well, that's the thing. Like maybe I'm a little bit different, because if I'm getting charged with something, I'm gonna fight it to the end, especially if I'm innocent. That's just me. But you are right. People do plead down for like a misdemeanor or something real minor. But it doesn't make any sense.
Well, something doesn't. Yeah, but it's a matter of your resources, though, too. I mean, the whole thing, like, it's not like when we watch like some of the stuff on TV and you're thinking the police are always going to tell you the truth. I mean, they've been told by courts. I mean, they can lie. They don't have to tell you the truth, and they can threaten all that kind of stuff. And if you got other stuff that you're concerned with, and they say, you know, you take this thing for some other lower type thing, maybe you're getting a 2 to 3 years rather than facing 10 to 20, you know, depending on your situation, you may take that lower case. That's what's been shown to happen. I mean, some people don't, and they go to court and they're going to jail for long.
Correct.
You know, like these guys that come out and they've been there for 20, 30 years and they always said they weren't guilty. You know, they went ahead and they tried to fight it. So some people see that and there's a fear they won't win, so they might take a lower thing as well.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I use myself as the example as far as the criminal system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I lost my driver's license in Phoenix, when I got hit for that red light camera, I knew I can win, right? But I took a calculated risk. I decided to fight in court, going with the odds the cop wouldn't show.
Yeah.
Because the cop doesn't show, you win, basically.
Right.
I saw I walked through the door and it was game over.
Yeah. The cop didn't show, or?
No, the cop showed up. I watched him walk through the door. I knew I was done. Yeah, the lawyer I had, I gave him $500 for the retainer. He gave it back to me.
Yeah. He just say, change your mind.
He was done. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
No, but you are correct. Like, people don't understand the system, like, far as due process.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's right in the Constitution. You have that right, but people don't understand it. Like New York is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I see it. I have relatives live there. I see it all the time. Now I hate to use night court as my reference. I'm going to use them because they do have night courts there.
Mm.
And it's like sometimes I'll go online and watch some of that stuff, like when they had the cameras on at night,
right?
And I see people just, like you say, just pleading down just to get out of there, take the fine, take 30 days, whatever, you know. But is it really worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what they might be threatening with, or what you may be being held against for a higher type charge. I mean, like you said, you take a calculated risk, you look at the odds, you look at the situation. Depending on where you're at, you know how that force may run. I mean, there's some areas like small town, rural areas, for instance. Like I once got a ticket down in Jacksonville, in like one of the speed trap scenarios on the way to the airport, and got to the airport, and I was like, the cop came out of nowhere. You didn't even see where it changed speed zones. And people at the airport that work there in Jacksonville were telling me about how much of a speed trap it is.
Well, it's like
trying to get people, especially if they see out of state tags. So it's almost like you have to pay it rather than trying to go back and fight it. Because I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it's like in that regard, it's almost like an old South, good old boy type network that it's kind of like you're going to get screwed if you go back and fight it anyway.
Oh yeah, like give you a perfect example, like the suburb here, Cuyahoga Falls. It's known as Ticket City, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they stop you right on the freeway, and they will march you right down to the courthouse because it's same day service, same thing. That's a pretty big town. They have 50,000 people, and this same day service.
Yeah, and so you have to look at, you know, what is going to be if I go to fight it, what am I going to lose there? My opportunity, what am I going to lose in my time, my costs, you know, everything that might be involved. And a lot of people will just go ahead and take it and pay it or whatever. So
yeah.
But you look at that with some of the other crimes or things like that, or suggested crimes that happen. It's like if you get stopped by the police, you know, the ACLU will tell you, all you do is, you know, ask them, you know, why you were stopped, and if you were like being detained. And if a cop asks for your ID, you're supposed to give them your ID. Because the only time they can ask you really for your ID is if you're operating a vehicle or if you're a suspect in a crime. And then the third thing now is if you're like boarding a plane because of the terrorism concerns.
Yeah.
But so if a cop stops you, you ask them, you know, am I being detained? And they're like, no, or they think they want to just check your ID for whatever. Because some spots around the country, they put your name in the database system. You can almost become marked, is what some areas will tell you. So, but then like for people to say they don't want to give them their ID when they get stopped, that's a calculated risk they're taking by doing that. But then you're almost putting yourself in a bad situation because of that. I mean, so if you know the law, you know, if you're operating a vehicle, you have to give them an ID. Now, if you're a passenger in the car, you don't have to give them your ID by law because you're just a passenger unless you're suspected of some type of crime. But people just don't know those things. Like when the police come to your house, you don't have to open the door. You can talk to them through the door if you feel there's a concern there about opening the door. You know, once you open the door, then they can say, well, I saw something. They can come, you know, barging in or whatever.
Correct. And, you know, like, you know, those crazy no-knock, search warrants, things like that. It's like that's when the door situation.
Yeah.
Me personally, I got nothing to hide. You want to take a look around.
Yeah.
You got any questions? I'll answer them. You know, but some people are not like that, and a lot of, like you said earlier, they're scared of the police for whatever reason.
Yeah, because there's been areas like I grew up in New Jersey, and I lived in other parts, you know, around the country, or been in different parts around the country, and there are some areas that people don't trust the police, and the police, there's stuff coming out now on some of these footage where even some of these police aren't as smart as you would think they would be. They leave their body cam on and they're planting evidence. They're getting caught planting evidence on stuff.
Correct.
So by not letting someone come in or whatever, you're taking away that opportunity or whatever. Now they are trying to do more stuff with the whole no-knock thing, which I think is going against the Constitution. So legal battles, I'm sure, will pop up here at some point. In Indiana, the state over from me, if you're in your home, they passed a law 2 years ago. If you're in your home and the police try to break in there and you're out of your concern, you're actually allowed to pull your weapon to defend yourself.
Yeah, but I thought Indiana had that, but I remember a story too on a no-knock. I want to say it was Illinois. It was a no-knock, but it was the wrong house.
Yeah.
And the guy ended up shooting a cop with a shotgun. He ended up getting killed. It was a big mess.
Yeah, yeah. So different states are doing it because those fall under state regulation, but different states are doing things along those lines. But you have to know your laws. It's a big thing, and know where you're at, and know what you have to do as a citizen, or what your opportunities. But the problem is some of the police don't know the laws either.
Correct, and I've definitely seen that.
A lot of people ask for supervisors or for shift leads, whoever it may be, to come out to the scene. Especially people that have a knowledge of the law. You'll see a lot of like people that went to law school or lawyers or have kind of a law background on a lot of these videos that pop up because they know what the law is, and they come out there and then the boss just pretty much says, no, you're free to go or whatever. And the cop was out there the whole time arguing with this guy and didn't even know what he was supposed to be doing. That's why my thing is like police officers, I think they dropped the bar. That's hurting a lot of their stuff that's happening right now. I think the bar has been lowered to get people to become cops.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, they need to raise the bar back up, just like with firemen. They kind of lowered it some to try to get more people to be available for it. But if you want to be at a certain level to be an officer, and I think that's why like some of the guys that come back from like military that become police often do a lot better because they're used to being in situations.
Correct.
They're used to kind of keeping their cool as things are happening. They're not going to just draw down on somebody that doesn't have a weapon on them.
Correct.
So,
and that's the one thing. Like, and you're right, because like with cops, like there's plenty of bad cops out there. Yeah. Pick any city on the planet, you're gonna have some bad cops. It's one of the ones where you really do need that training, especially in this climate. And that's why I like the body cameras, because the police can check themselves.
Well, yeah, the only problem with the body cameras is they allow most of the departments, the police can turn it off or on. So it should be on automatically. Like, it should be going on 10 minutes before a shift. There should be an automatic click on the system, and then it should click off like, 10 or 20 minutes after their shift or whatever. I mean, it should be something where they can't control it. Because if you can control it, you're still the fox controlling the hen house because you have the key. So.
Correct. Like, Akron police even said this about having it on all the time. They would, but they don't want to pay for the storage. That was their whole thing. And they had audio for probably 20 years now. They just switched to video. So I was saying
that some of these departments saw some of their militarized vehicles. They probably have enough.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy on the whole. They're using those to fight drugs, and that's like a whole different situation because, for me, I think marijuana should just be legal across the board everywhere. If you look at it, like up through the 70s, a lot of people were kind of smoking weed, but it was kind of like done, in their own house or like that. But it wasn't like a big thing. It was when Nixon came in that led that charge against the marijuana war. And I think that whole time since then, it's just been like a waste of us going down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. Now, as far as marijuana, I wish Tanya was here right now. I think she's still at work. She'd be the perfect person to ask about this.
She might be off as a holiday. Did you send her a thing?
Actually, no, I didn't.
I think she did a beer review earlier.
Because the whole thing, the California thing, she'd be the perfect person to ask about this.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Actually, she rarely checks her. She checks in and out on her Facebook, but I'll send her a text message.
Okay. When she was on last night, she answered that post I did pretty quick. So,
yeah.
No, she posted earlier today at a party I think she was at. Oh, can we close this? No, with the whole thing with the pot in California, I'm actually happy for him. Now, how's it going to work? I have no idea because I don't know how the rules are set up there.
Right.
I mean, Colorado does pretty good. Here in Ohio, it's a mess. They didn't get it passed the first time. Now they got it passed. Now they're still trying to figure it out. It must be a state-to-state thing.
Yeah, because it's all under state regulations on who's doing what. And I'm just sending her to typing this thing in.
Okay. Actually, the local dealer will remain nameless. I see him he comes over all the time. We play Xbox, but it's I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I should ask him about that.
Yeah. Different states are handling a different mandate on how they're going to treat it and everything. And it's a weird thing. The more the state is conservative, the less chance you have, I guess, because technically it all still goes under federal rule, and the DEA is not like giving a pass on anything, but they've had more trouble with state. I mean, it's for them to go after states that are actually doing it. It's going to be more of a pain in their butt to try to do that. So they kind of just let it go, or they're kind of monitoring it maybe.
Okay.
But you look at something like California. California is like the 6th biggest economy in the world. So it's kind of like, you start going into battle with them, they got money to kind of support their thing if they going to courts and all this kind of stuff, and the government wants to have it. So it's almost like, is it worth it going after it? Again, calculated risk. So yeah. And I think the whole thing with the whole pot deals. Now I don't know if they're stripping chemicals out or anything like that. I mean, somebody there in California watches this in the replay, or Tanya might show up and tell us. I mean, you got to let me know. Yeah. Now, my only concern is, let's say I smoke a joint, right? Before I go to work. Yeah.
But I work in an industrial setting. I mean, what's going to happen? My whole issue is from a safety standpoint, depending on what you're doing. Otherwise, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because that's going to matter for the whole, safety. And, if you're in a position where it does matter like that, then yeah, you can't be like a surgeon going to toke one before you head in.
Correct.
Type thing. But I don't know how they, how do they all, I guess, regulate all of that too. I mean, I don't know what the thing is out there. If they're random checking anybody at some of these positions out in Colorado or California, for employers could do that out there even.
Yeah, like I said, I have no idea. Other than it became legal at midnight. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. But you look at states where they've actually you look at countries where they decriminalize it overseas, crime goes down. Drug use has even went down in a lot of them because it becomes more accessible. You're also taking out some of this. If you can go somewhere legally, and it's the same kind of way with prostitution, right? And if you can go to, Amsterdam or probably even here in Vegas where it's legalized, that the state's already got an incentive into it. They're making sure things you have less chance of maybe like a medical type situation or catching a disease, something like that and everything. It's because once you legalize and decriminalize something, now you got state monitors you can put into play to make it a safer environment for those that want to.
Oh, that's you saying, but I always tell people, like when we talk about other countries do it, I always tell people keep in mind other countries have different cultural setups than us.
Well, you got to keep in mind America is still basically pretty much an infant compared to the rest of the world. So
yeah, we're still that young and stupid age compared to the rest of the world. You are correct in that.
Yeah. So you look at something like the countries in Europe, something like those ones overseas that have been around for hundreds and hundreds, a lot more hundreds of years than we have because, depending on where you were in America, 1776, right? So you had the Jamestown before that getting settled, but you still had to work your way up. And it's kind of like we're still kind of the younger one of them, even though we kind of control a lot of stuff now, we're still like the younger one based on a lot of these other countries.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, especially like now with that, like, I was just thinking in my head, like I don't know if I haven't got down there in Kentucky. Like here in Ohio, we have methadone clinics, right? And I see people hooked on that, and it is rough, right? Bringing them down. Now, obviously, pot's not going to be like that. When we start criminalizing, like, you start looking at stuff on Schedule A. I mean, obviously, heroin's not coming off Schedule A. Crack's not coming off of it. But like a lot of the mid-range stuff like that, peyote, things like that.
Right. It was like marijuana or shrooms or some of this other stuff. I mean, some of this stuff, like I always say, like marijuana to me, it never really was really a drug. It was pretty much you could grow it yourself if you wanted to. You didn't have to experiment or whatever. Like I always think a drug is like you got to take a chemistry type unit, right? You got to actually go in there, mess around with some stuff, change some molecules up, like that. But this is like just a natural herb that grew by itself. Yeah, you go in there like nowadays, they enhance it, they do different stuff. But if you just wanted the basic thing, you could just grow it and pick it out right out of your garden and you can smoke. So to me, it never really fit like under that whole drug type thing. Crack you to burn it down or whatever you got to do to it, boil it down, or get it from the coke to the rock, or you got to do something to make like PCP, or you have to do something to make like ecstasy or whatever these other type of drugs people might be using. So I don't know. I think they grouped everything all together, and it's kind of like everything's not the same,
It's not. And the whole thing with the criminalization.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see it, but I'm not talking about a state to state level. I'm talking about from a federal level.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they really want to do it from a financial standpoint. Not even talking about from court fights. How do they make money on it? It's not like alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something a little bit different.
They'll make money.
You can't obviously you can't put a still in your yard, stuff like that.
Right. But you can make beer. You can make beer.
Oh yes. Thank you, Jimmy Carter, for that. Thank you very much. Yeah. He set the groundwork for that.
Yeah, he did.
He probably helped his brother Billy out, but that's besides the point.
But you look at trying to do it that way, like the states where it's legalized or are doing it like for medical use, they're probably taxing it off of it and they're getting state funds out of it that way. So the state's getting their funds out of it somehow.
Yeah, I remember reading an article.
One of the big hurdles I always said, like, if states can find a way to tax it and get money out of it, then they'll start to approve it. And
well, that's Colorado actually does a really good job with that.
Yeah.
They were talking about their financial. They made a ton of money off that.
Yeah, they made a ton off of it. And here, actually, in Ohio, they've been trying to get stuff passed down here. I know in Cincinnati, I know some people that are trying to work on it. And you're probably seeing it up there in northern Ohio to be able to actually start running stuff and being able to grow it and sell it and things like that. But they're trying to make it where it's only like certain people can do it now. So it's almost like if they pass in Ohio, the way it's set right now is basically for somebody of the kind of elitist type status if you have the opportunity, rather than, you know, if me or you wanted to go out there and try to start it up, they'd be like, oh no, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah.
Well,
somebody else comes in that's kind of that, you know, elite type thing with millions of dollars behind them, they have a higher chance.
Actually, no, like when they first put it on the ballot the very first time, I remember doing a video about this. It was so poorly written. I had to reread the thing 5 times just to understand it. I mean, that's how poorly written it was. Then I saw how they had it set up with what you're saying, the elitist class getting access to the stores. People shut it down immediately. Now they rewrote it. And you have to, when my understanding is you have to go through a lottery for it.
Okay, so they changed that part of it up then. Okay.
Yeah, because at one place in town it's going to be, I'm not sure they're growing it or selling it. I'm not totally sure. But there's one place in town got the permit to do it. They're supposed to come online, I want to say in April or May.
Okay.
I can't speak for down there. But I'm not sure you can basic like they're gonna zone it out as big cities. I'm not sure.
Well, if they do pass it, you know, Dave Chappelle's going to probably have the best of it. He's like 40 miles from me in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, he's got about 100 million sitting in the bank, too.
Go see Dave Chappelle. Hey, man. Got some of that weed?
Oh, yeah. Like, man, we had a long conversation about this. I haven't done this stuff in years.
Yeah, I think Dave Chappelle's spot is like 6 or 7 acres he has here in Ohio.
No kidding.
I know he's got a bunch of land, and then because he kind of keeps it where his house is kind of like in the middle of it or something back, but so nobody can just walk up onto his house type thing, you know?
Yeah.
But he's pretty involved in his little town too. I know that he went to some of their city council meetings and voiced some concerns and stuff, so. You know, he talks a lot of different stuff, like in some of his routine, but he does get involved with it.
That's all I ask. You're going to say it. Put your money where your mouth is. That's all I ask.
Yeah. And, but it's interesting. I mean, it's going to be 2018 is going to be kind of an interesting year, I think. So,
yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just don't know. It's like, and to be honest with you, I've been kind of avoiding the news, quote unquote, the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got like a journalism degree. I mean, I've always kind of been kind of a news type person, but I can see that there's certain shows I don't watch as much anymore just because I know what it's going to be already. Like, you know, I don't watch things like really hardball anymore. I know Chris Matthews just going to be yelling at someone or whatever, and there's a few that I'll catch here and there. I'll catch some of the ones like a couple on CNN or like AM Joy Reid's pretty good on MSNBC, some of her perspectives on stuff. But a lot of them, you know, Lester Holt's pretty solid on NBC News. I usually watch him at 6:30. But there's so many other ones that are just like, I don't know. You just don't know some of the stuff. And
and that's a lot of it too. It's like, now I'm kind of thankful in this since I work a weird schedule.
Yeah.
Especially the primetime people. I've never really cared for to begin with. Now, as far as like Lester Holt, like as far as the big 3, the only thing I ask them is this: give me the news. That's it. That's all I ask. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's when you look at the news, like a 6:30 national thing. That's all they can really do. It's not really commentary like that. It's just there's reported news stories that are taking place. a lot of the other shows get more into commentary type things along those lines, and they're giving perspective on stuff, or they got guests on it, they're giving perspective on stuff, and they're trying to find what may or may not be the news, or they got a fact and they're trying to give different sides to it, possibly. But it's just there's a lot of stuff happening, and like I used to watch Bill Maher's show on HBO for the longest time, and I don't even watch his anymore just because it gets so slanted. Plus, you get into so many different attacks that are taking place that it's kind of like not even worth it at some point, unless I know somebody's going to be in there I really want to see.
That's what I did, like with Maher, like his HBO show.
Yeah.
The only time I really watched this show was the night he had Ben Affleck and Sam Harris on, right? I wanted to watch that.
Yeah.
But Bill Maher, I mean, Politically Incorrect was much better show than Real Time. It really was. And a lot of people don't like to hear me say that, but I honestly think that. Because that was a really good show we had it set up. Well, Maher's just so slanted now.
With Real Time, it almost had to be, well, one, it was more censored because it was on ABC, right? So it wasn't like
Politically Incorrect, yeah.
Right. And then it's like on HBO, it's like you can come in there and you can say what you want and do what you want type thing on a lot of his shows. And then there's like, it kind of is like Incorrect, but it's kind of like Incorrect. Like Incorrect was like PG-13 or whatever, and that's just like more R on when Bill Maher does a show on HBO.
Correct.
But yeah, it still gets slanted, and that's his show. It's supposed to be a thing, and at the end of the day, though, I mean, he started as a comedian as well, which there's a lot of comedians that give a lot of political good influence. Look at Dick Gregory. He was a comedian that started out, but he had a lot of good political influence on different things and gave different ways to look at stuff. Richard Pryor did the same thing.
Pryor, George Carlin did. He was one of the big ones.
Carlin, and now like Lewis Black does it too. So you kind of expect it, but it's almost like to a point where I would watch some of his stuff, and it's like he's sitting there and he's attacking, different groups. I mean, it was even attacking like, not just maybe some people that might be hardcore right or whatever, or Christian, but it's also like Muslims were getting attacked on there, or things he thought he could say about certain other groups, or things he said about women and stuff like that. And you look at it, you're kind of like, dude, you're actually more like a douchebag in a lot of respect than anything else. Like,
I mean, if that's a stick, that's a stick, which I understand, but a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah, but there's a reason like Dice Clay doesn't have a talk show either, right? So
yeah. No. For his time period, he wouldn't flown on TV. No. The 1980s was a completely different era, let me tell you. And that man was funny.
Yeah, he was funny. But it's like, I don't know. So it's kind of like I don't watch his stuff anymore because it does like carry a certain way and like that. And there's moments of it that are funny, for instance, but I can sit there and watch maybe Trevor Noah and get more of enjoyment out of watching his thing than watching Bill Maher sometimes,
Well, Trevor Noah, I mean, he's like, he's hit or miss with me.
Yeah. Well, he's not like Jon Stewart. Well, Jon Stewart was pretty much on point with all that stuff, but that happened over time because starting out for a while, Jon Stewart was kind of a hit and miss kind of guy.
Yeah, but like a lot of it was too. He was trying to find his way on that show because he's trying to get away from what Craig Kilborn did.
Yeah,
we're going way back with that. Kilborn was awful.
Yeah,
he should have stayed on Sports Center, but it's
How he got that role with Wedding Crashers, I had no idea. But
yeah, he had pictures of somebody. He had to have. He had pictures of somebody. No, but it's like shows like that. Stewart was really good. Like I hadn't watched those type of shows in a while. I mean, even Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, I haven't watched him in a long time.
I mean, when he pulled the stunt with that with the pack for his sister, I stopped watching him. Because I saw straight through that when he did that. A lot of people at the time didn't know his sister was running for senator in South Carolina.
Right.
I backed up and looked. He wasn't real transparent about that.
Yeah.
He should have said it right out front.
Yeah, but a lot of politicians, don't say a lot of stuff up front there.
Yeah, but like where he was at, though, he should have just came out and said it,
Yeah.
But I look at the flip side, too. On the other side, I mean, as far as commentators, I really haven't seen anybody really, really good just laying it out in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to go. I mean, okay, you got O'Reilly. I don't watch him, right?
Right.
You had who else? You got Hannity. I don't watch. Now Hannity and Combs was good because I like the banter, right?
Well, banter back and forth. Yeah, I think Combs died, didn't he, or something?
Yes, he did. He died last year.
Yeah.
I just love that show for the banter.
Yeah.
I mean, you got. I mean, I hate to say this, but I gotta say it. I can't think of his name now. Glenn Beck. Before he went off the deep end, I like watching him.
No, he was
because the way he presented stuff. Before all the off the wall stuff.
Pre-psychotic Glenn Beck.
He was Alex Jones before Alex Jones. I don't like. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, but it's one of those ones to where, like, far as media, you're a media guy. I mean, you have a journalism degree. I mean, I have a politics channel, not very big, but I have one. I noticed too, like, I've gone a lot more of like watching commentators on YouTube, but I learned to be careful too.
Yeah. I mean, because with like YouTube, it's I don't want to say it's like not fact. I mean, there's a lot of opinions that flow more on YouTube than maybe some of the facts, but there are some people on YouTube that will discuss facts on there as well, which is always a good thing. You know, they say, look at this piece. Like me and Tanya did a thing months ago, well, last year, I think, and we had a conversation about kind of legal system and stuff like that in the U.S., different things, and there's a lot of fact stuff that I've cited out there, different law cases, so people can go back and see the information. So when you're able to back up some of that stuff, I think it makes you definitely a stronger type force out there for people to actually pay attention to.
Correct.
It's just an opinion.
Correct. And I noticed that too with a lot of the YouTube channels, like for example, the Young Turks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I watched them because I loved their pop culture stuff because it was really good. The moment they went far left back in 2011, I was done.
Well, they were always far left, I think, right?
No, they were moderate left, but the way they started up was fine.
Okay.
It was still at your but when they took all that money from those private equity groups, it's over. You know.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, they're the big political channel. At least they were last time I looked. But I haven't watched one of their videos in probably 6 months.
Yeah, I think Shanks just got fired from something.
That was Justice Democrats.
Harassment thing or something.
That was Justice Democrats.
No, that was okay.
Actually, I don't know if he quit or he walked, but it sounds more like a force out.
Yeah, but wasn't it like sexual harassment or something in that case too, or something?
No, it was weird because like he had this blog. Because I almost did a video on this too and said pass because everybody beat me to it. The way it came out during the week. He had this blog back when he was 30. Okay. He was down in Miami talking about was it Miami, New Orleans, groping women's boobs, this and that. Somebody found it and it was Red State that posted. Was it Red State? I think it was Red State that posted it, right?
Okay.
Him and somebody else, just Democrats, stepped down, and I'm thinking to myself, and people are defending Jing. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the same guy with the man resignation. It was reversed. And what made me mad, and a lot of people mad, he pulled the I was conservative back then. That's exactly what he said in the video.
Yeah.
He got called on a carpet for that. And just 5 years. And the only person I saw defending him on YouTube was Sargon Bakad. He was the only person.
Yeah.
And I got issues with him right now. There's a whole doxing scandal he's a part of.
Yeah,
and he's trying to play good guy, but the audio on the timeline says otherwise.
Yeah.
No, but like, let me ask you a question since you have a journalism degree. Maybe you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the alternative media is a good thing or a bad thing? I'm talking about the new alternative media.
You mean alternative media, like internet type stuff?
Yeah, I'm talking about the new stuff though. Like a lot of the commentators coming online now. Like me, I'm kind of a tweener because I've been on YouTube for 10 years doing this. So I'm a bad example. Like some of the newer ones that come online from the last year. Not necessarily the skeptic community. But like the social commentators.
Yeah, I think there's room to add it in there as a service. I think people want to hear voices. I think if you're going to come on there and do it, you have to be able to back up what you're saying, of course, because, you know, people don't know how, if you're fact checking or if you're making stuff up. We find a lot of, for instance, memes that are out there that aren't true memes. And, you know, people put stuff together and they quote these things. And like, no, that never really happened. That was actually something made up. Or like we find out, like with the whole Russian thing, where there's websites, not just from Russia, it was already happening before, but here in the U.S., that are putting out stuff as facts that weren't facts. Like there's a picture of a woman bending over, signing in like a guest registry who has a thong on that's been posted around the internet. And people are saying it was Melania. Well, fact is, it wasn't Melania.
Yeah, I saw that one.
But people are like running around like it's Melania, and it's like, dude, that just like hurts your cause when you're putting stuff like this out there, because that wasn't even the person that had done it. So you have to be careful on some of that stuff that you're seeing. But I think a lot of it comes from a growth of people just don't fully trust the media as much anymore like they used to. Remember when I was like growing up, and this was really before Reagan started breaking down a lot of this stuff. We used to have a ton of independent stations that were able to provide media. But now you got to a point where 91% of it is controlled by 6 companies. And you can actually see the chart out there of the different companies that own all the media. And that's just a lot of power in like those 6 hands. Correct. So you went from a time where you had all kinds of voices to being taken down to just this limited amount. So that's kind of reopened the outlet for an underground type situation. And that's what you're having with a lot of these social outlets that are popping up.
Okay, and that's what I thought, but I wanted to ask you anyway, just to verify that, is the fact that I was hoping that it doesn't collapse on itself.
Yeah. I actually like it because I think it's making people actually do their own homework for the most part. They're actually being serious about it. And they're putting stuff out there and not just taking the word on. I think there's a lot more sheep nowadays than there need to be. So if it's getting other people actually involved out there and reading other things or find out other things, I think it's a great thing.
Oh, absolutely. And let's hope that like the mainstream media, quote unquote, gets their act together.
Yeah.
But when that happened, I have no idea. None.
Well, there's been times some of these people having these blogs, I mean, they'll break stories for media. Next thing you know, they're like getting interviewed on some of these media stations about when did you find out about someone? And they're getting their blogs are taking off. So one good story can make a blog too.
Oh yeah, I totally. I noticed that kind of time too.
Yeah,
like somebody with a cell phone that scooped everybody.
Yeah, I mean, really, before you go back to more or less like the 2012 election, it might have been 2008, more 2012 though. The whole Obama winning the second term. I think before that point, a lot of people didn't know who Nate Silver was. And then all of a sudden, he was in everybody's household, it seemed, because everybody's going to him about the polls.
Well, I knew Nate Silver because of fantasy football. So I already knew the name. But
well, a lot of people didn't know him from the political aspect of stuff.
But then he was a good projector of electoral votes. This year, he just totally blew it.
Actually, he didn't know, because his initial poll, when it came out last year, was like around May. He'd actually projected that Trump was actually going to win.
Yeah, but he started going down. Started going down the line where it started to switch, and I started looking between the lines.
I think he might have been getting some heat or some stuff too, though, because he disappeared for about 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, he did,
and then he came back in. It was all of a sudden it was kind of favored maybe towards Hillary or whatever. I don't know if he saw some other type of trend, but initially I remember him having like Trump winning possibly in a close race. So. But it was all about learning the electric college. And the thing is, if you know the electric college and how it actually works, it's pretty tough the way it's set up now because of the way some of the districts have been broken down and everything. So it could repeat more and more down the line, depending how things end up going, you know.
Well, that's the thing is like, now the electoral college, I'm gonna step away for a minute, but I want you to ponder this question. Do you really think that at the size of this country, do we still need electoral college? I'll be right back. Ponder that question for a couple of minutes.
So I'm here to ponder while Lance steps away. Should have gave me some pondering music. Just pondering away. Ponder, ponder, ponder. Ponder.
Okay. All right, I'm back.
I was just here pondering.
Okay.
I was gonna say, did you get any comments? Anybody say anything?
No, it was like, and I knew doing one tonight would be a gamble because it's a holiday. Normally, the politics side, I really don't get anybody if I do a live stream. That's why I rarely do them. If I pop up on the beer side, everybody shows up for 15 minutes.
Okay.
You know, I thought I'd do one tonight, and I said pass.
I was waiting to make sure we weren't missing anybody. I was thinking about doing a beer stream tonight because I haven't done it in a while. But as far as the electric college, my opinion is that we've kind of passed that point of having the electoral college. And I've been pretty much a fan of getting rid of it or phasing it out for a while. A lot of people are kind of saying it now because Hillary won the popular vote. But I think it's been even longer than we should have been looking at it, just because the way the electoral college is set up right now, when you look at the election, the way the states and everything are, and the way everybody's kind of zoned across the country, there's only about 9 or 10 states that really have that impact for president for the most part, right? So there's some states that are going to be a certain color regardless. Like, where I grew up in New Jersey, that's going to be
blue forever,
blue, right? Pretty much. And like when I'm in Kentucky now, that's going to be like pretty much red forever for the most part. But like something like Ohio, Michigan, you have these ones that have different shades of purple that are kind of involved there. So I don't know if it's really the best thing anymore, but at the same point, it's kind of like that really does factor a lot into how we're set up as a country.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I was trying to explain to people because I actually did a video on this.
Yeah.
I asked myself this question. I asked this question directly to the viewers. If I live in Pierre, South Dakota, we went to direct vote.
Yeah.
If I live in Pierre, South Dakota, do I want Los Angeles deciding who's president? Because the way I broke it down was Los Angeles and San Mateo counties, where San Francisco was at, would have flipped that election and we went to direct vote.
Yeah.
Alone.
Well, the thing is, like, if you're in like South Dakota, you've actually got more voting power than like in California.
Because the way the electoral college is weighted.
Right, because the way it's weighted, so it's almost like a 3-to-1 type situation. And I'd look at it like, you look at states like South Dakota or Rhode Island or like Maryland. Remember when they set it up at one point, they were kind of giving the votes out to keep power in the north and the south. And then as it moved out west, some states didn't get as much as some of the other ones. So maybe it just needs to be a reweighting of who gets what as far as the numbers, right? Like, so Rhode Island, I don't know what the number is, but say if Rhode Island has 5, maybe they should have 2.
That's what you're saying. Now I'll go for that to reweight the system.
Yeah.
Now, I know that it doesn't work on a national scale. I'm a big proponent of instant runoff voting. I mean, I think it's time to do something like that, but it works better in municipal and state races.
Yeah, because on a national, that'd be kind of crazy, I think.
Yeah, last you want like some super dark horse out of the blue, gets in there and he's in the top 3 and got to do it all over again,
Yeah.
I think, was it Sweden or Norway just went through that?
I think it was Sweden.
Okay. They just had that issue last year.
But I think we're going to, there'll be some interesting races upcoming because I think there's one thing about Trump being elected and some of the things happening between the two different sides. There's going to be more people involved, I think, locally in some of their politics and stuff. So we're seeing the surge of more people actually trying to run now, especially like women. I think women's kind of have been leading in that area of getting more possible candidates to be set to run for 2018. So it's definitely, in a way, revitalized some of the electoral system in the U.S. It'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out. I mean,
yeah, the midterms, I'm not honestly. I can't call it. I really can't. Now, I did say this early in the day in the video I did.
Yeah.
I don't see the quote-unquote blue wave like everybody's talking about. I don't see it, right?
Yeah.
Because I already know Alabama's going to flip back red. I already know that. But that one state down immediately.
Yeah, that won't be the 2020 when that's up again.
No, I thought it was next year.
No, he's in there for 3 years.
Oh, it's 3 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take back what I just said then. I mean, all these House races, I just don't see it.
I can see the Democrats winning.
I mean, they'll pick up some seats, yeah, but not as many as they think.
I can see them winning. I can see them winning the House back in 2018, and I can see the Senate getting tighter. I don't think they're going to win the House. I mean, I'll win the Senate, but I think it'll tighten up. I think there's a lot of stuff happening that's going to cause some of these seats to flip. And I think the biggest thing is really mostly a lot of stuff, again, coming from a lot of the Trump stuff. I think it's driving a lot of that, like a Trump factor, people are like hearing stuff that are happy about it, not seeing some of these policies, like the whole Muslim ban type thing and stuff like that. It's kind of like driving people to get more involved in, like I said, and some of these Republicans that are sitting there not saying anything, when they're coming home, they're getting shouted down at their own town hall meetings by their own constituencies.
Yeah, but from Team Red's side, their hands are kind of tied. I'm not talking about the Never Trumpers. You're always going to have those, but it's the only one that really said anything, at least from the Senate side, has been Rand Paul, and he's pretty much incapacitated right now because his neighbor beat him down.
No, he's back.
He is back finally.
Oh yeah, he's been back and everything. So
okay,
that was like down south of me, so that wasn't anything really too bad. I mean, he tackled him in his yard or whatever, but
we broke a bunch of ribs. But that feud's been going on for years. Though my understanding,
yeah, it was nothing that they said with the politics. It was more like
it was like an HOA deal or something like that. It was like weird.
But you're seeing Republicans say stuff that now the ones that are saying stuff are the ones not coming back. Like Jeff Flake has made comments. And you're seeing like Bob Corker had made comments at points. And it's like, well, they're not coming back. So they're like, okay, I can say it now. So I'm not running for re-election. And for me, I was like, if you want to show you got, for lack of a better word, the balls to do your position, say it when you are still running.
That's what I always say. If you're going to say it.
I think Murkowski's going to get nailed at the next election. I think people are going to hold her accountable. I think the other woman that voted for the tax bill, I can't remember her name. That was Lisa Murkowski, and one was in Maine and one was in Alaska.
Oh, the one in I know you're talking. I think of the names.
But they're both like in the hot seat. I think you've got like other people that that are supposed to be doing stuff a certain way. They're not. Now I think it's all in the hot seat. But I think there's also, some Democrats have to be held accountable on some of their stuff too, I guess. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. But I can see where there could be more of a Democratic jump back to power in the House, which actually the better years of America working have been when there's usually been a mixed House and presidency and not one party in full control. So
I totally agree with that, because you need the balance. Yeah,
so I mean, historically that's been the case, but historically markets have always done better under Democratic leadership too, though. So, so who knows? Right now, it's always looking back, and it's kind of people need to look ahead and figure out what we're going to do here, I guess.
Yeah, and it's like here in Ohio, for instance, we got the big governor's race coming up, and I brought this up in my video today. It's like I can't even tell you who's running right now.
Was Kasich done finally?
Kasich is done.
Okay.
And who knows what he's going to do? I don't even know.
People that were running for the Republican ticket, he was like the one that made the most sense in my mind.
Yeah, but the DNC and the media went out of their way to make sure he wasn't the nominee. I've always said that.
Yeah. Well, you know why? They thought Trump would be an easy win.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, at the start, I told myself the same thing.
Yeah.
Then I started really diving into it, and I knew Clinton was on the ropes. until the day my stepfather called me at work and asked about the hot sauce deal in Cleveland.
Oh, the hot sauce in the bag thing or whatever?
Yeah, I knew right there she was done.
Well, I knew it was when she went on Ellen and was doing the Nene or whatever. I was like, oh, she's just trying to pander now. So,
well, she barely had Ohio, but the whole state flipped when that happened.
Well, her big thing is really she didn't go out. Man, these guys are balling tonight. I tell you, Georgia and Oklahoma are balling.
No, Oklahoma's still blowing them out.
No, Georgia's up 38-31 right now.
Oh, okay. Then Oklahoma's up on them big.
Yeah. She took it for granted. She took the Iron Belt, and that's what really done her in.
And then a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, she thought outside of Indiana, she thought Rust Belt was a guarantee.
Yeah, and
it was like a huge mistake. And Trump hammered it. I'll give him credit where credit's due.
Well, he went there, and he talked to people and said the stuff that needed to be said, that he felt needed to be said, and whether or not it was all true or not, he was out there at least addressing it. Like you were talking about that carrier plant where they just cut the jobs this week that they were thinking he was going to save. So
that might be a carrier deal. I don't know. I haven't really looked into that in a while.
Yeah. They just the one carrier plant he went to talking about saving their jobs. They just cut like 200 of them. But he was never going to save them anyway. I mean, that was just part of the company what they were going to structure too. But the way it was put out there was he was going to try to save them.
Oh, okay. But it's not like he's going to Belvedere or Kokomo, one of the Chrysler plants,
Yeah. But the way with Hillary, like I heard a report that her Bill got in an argument when she was running because he was saying stuff telling her people y'all need to get her to Minnesota and out to Wisconsin, all these places, and they were let us run a campaign or whatever like that. And he was trying to tell her what to do, and then she got mad at him for she wouldn't do it her way or whatever. So,
I mean, I have no problem with that. She won't do it her way. She wants no help. I understand that.
Yeah,
but it's she's so mismanaged that, and it's and you see what happened. It's like with Romney back in 2012.
Yeah,
here in Ohio. I honestly thought, I voted for Gary Johnson. I honestly thought he might have a chance in Ohio until he made the Jeep comment. He's up until he made a comment about Jeep. I knew he lost the state right there. Because if anything, you don't mess with Toledo. They haven't done nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
No, but here in Ohio with the state race coming up, there's so much of belch. I am disinterested, and that's why I made a suggestion that Sherrod Brown should run
for president.
No, for governor.
For governor? Yeah. I mean, Sherrod Brown.
Senator for governor.
He's liked in Ohio a lot.
I mean, he's universally liked.
I mean, he would get obviously a lot of the votes from up north, and down south here he's pretty liked. That he would get probably a lot down here as well.
No, well, I'll say this here in Summit County, he'd be a hard sell.
Yeah.
I mean, because
he would pick up a lot. You pick up Hamilton County down here probably.
Oh yeah, Southwest Ohio has always been tradition, and Western Ohio has been traditionally red. Even though the state's always been mixed.
Yeah, but Hamilton County is the biggest one where Cincinnati is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now with him, he'll carry the entire Lake Erie coast.
Yeah.
Akron would be a hard sell, but he's generally universally liked. I don't know if he wants it or not.
Well, the problem is he'd be giving up a senator seat though too.
Yeah, taking a chance and being governor.
Yeah.
But even though you're talking about him being
governor, but the party itself might want him to stay as senator.
Well, I think they think he's going to run for president.
I've heard that talk too.
I mean, it's not. I'm thinking to myself, it's not going to happen. Number one, his wife Connie Schultz won't let it happen because she's alluded to it.
Yeah,
she hasn't come out and said it yet.
Over the next couple of years, you never know.
I mean, time will tell. I was getting there. Time will tell. And two, she's actually going to be a problem, and not in the way you think.
Yeah.
Because she worked for the plain dealer so long, and people know that millennials are going to have a hard time with that selling Sherrod Brown because they think she's part of the mainstream media. She's just a go-between. That's become a huge problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if millennials really are looking at with the spouse paying. Like I never really cared much about what the spouse.
No, not necessarily the spouse, or not necessarily the spouse, but what she did.
Yeah.
What she did. And millennials, talking to Generation Z, a lot of them, they are very distrustful of old line media.
Yeah.
But like I'm seeing that. I see him running for governor if he wants it. Cause I think he'd win. He'd be better than Ed Fitzgerald in comparison. But it's I'm sorry, you lose by 34 points. That's an old-fashioned ass whipping, my grandmother used to say. You know? Old-fashioned ass whipping. Yeah. You can't put a gerrymandering card on a blowout. I'm sorry. Especially that type of blowout. It's like here in Ohio, and people we watch this on the replay. Ohio politics are very regional, unless there's a statewide issue. Everybody gets behind on.
Yeah,
like the pot issue. Everybody wanted it done. It was just badly done. Now, since you're down in that direction, I mean, what are the issues down there? Because I don't hear much from down there that often.
I mean, down here, from what I hear on the Ohio side, it's the marijuana issue is kind of a key thing. Because I know people that are trying to be part of the incubator stage, if that's the case. But some of the other stuff, I mean, it's like jobs and infrastructure are really concerned. We got like a couple bridges down here that need work on them.
Now you talking about don't cross the river or either side of Kentucky or Ohio?
Well, there's some in Ohio. There's one main one that's 71 to 75 from Ohio to Kentucky. They had that shut down for a couple months earlier this year to do some work on it. But there's infrastructure issues. There's potholes, all kinds of stuff that they need cleaned up around the city. There's stuff with older, train tracks, older bridges in Ohio, things that just need to be addressed. I think a lot of people look at that being a concern.
Oh, okay.
And then, of course, jobs. I mean, the main thing is jobs, which I don't hear as hard of a hard time that we have for jobs down here. But we do have, a good amount of homeless people that pop up here and there as well. So
okay.
That could be a thing there. And then outside of that is really the other big thing would be the meth situation. So we have an area out here towards east of Cincinnati that's pretty bad, I guess, affected with the whole meth thing.
Now, you talking about getting closer to Oxford or not that far east?
No, not that far. That'd be like a little bit more north up, but like over here towards Batavia and stuff, where during that stretch, I mean, there's a lot of supposedly stuff out there happening. There's been like wrecks and stuff, people falling asleep driving and things like that, and people, being found with needles in their arm. That all the emergency carriers, they're carrying like Narcan now to revive people. So that's kind of been a big thing to try to get that all cleaned up if possible. But
okay. Yeah, I was going to say, as far as bridges, and I'm looking in comparison here in town, the Ohio River is not the Ohio Canal.
Yeah. I
mean, Cincinnati, you're a mile across. At that point, at Louisville, further down.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, about
a mile across.
The river, Kentucky actually controls the bridge as far as the rights, but it's a kind of a thing they work together to get stuff done. It's more of a federal on the federal one, though, the 71.
You're talking big money with a big project like that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as jobs in Cincinnati, I don't know what the climate is, other than Procter & Gamble's the big player down there.
We got like a bunch of ones down here. I mean, we got like 5 major companies at least through the area. So most people, like I said, I don't think are hurting for a lot of the jobs. You hear stuff here and there. I mean, there's a couple of things. Sometimes something might get downsized or whatever, but people seem to adapt back pretty quickly.
Okay, same thing up here.
I don't know what the rate is, but people don't. I know a few people that were out of work for a little bit of time, but they were able to get unemployment and get back into something else. So
okay, yeah, like up here in Akron, it's like, I mean, infrastructure. We really don't have that issue here, even though potholes is a big issue because the budget was a mess.
Yeah,
for our last mayor, but like up here, the drug problem is huge.
Yeah,
huge. I mean, heroin made it. I mean, it's probably the same down there as a major problem. I know Dayton's got it really bad.
I said meth when I meant heroin. I don't know. They might do meth too. I don't know.
No, meth. no, meth's been a problem here for 20 years.
Yeah.
I remember when it showed up in the mid-90s. That actually, and full disclosure, because statute of limitations, I was a shroom head.
Yeah.
People get on meth, got me off shrooms, and knew I had my hands busy, trying to keep them alive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big issue. Jobs. We got the same 5 plastic plants hiring, so you can get a job.
Yeah.
But you're not making squat.
Well, that's the problem with jobs, with the meaningful job, though. Like I was watching they had a Twilight Zone marathon on the last couple of days, yesterday and today on a Sci-Fi channel. And I was watching one of the episodes earlier. It was like, one of those 1965 when they made it or whatever. But the character was like a cabbie. And he made enough money as a cabbie to support him and his wife, living in their 1-bedroom apartment or whatever. Like, you can't find that nowadays.
Oh, no, and a lot of people, like back from the national side,
yeah.
I mean, you have to understand back then the cost of living was a whole lot lower. Now, obviously, places like New York or a place like that were sky high to begin with.
Yeah.
You made adjustments. Like here, for example, I work in a paper mill, right?
Yeah.
I make $12 an hour. Yeah, can I survive? Yeah, but I can't do anything.
Yeah, you can barely get by, but
I mean, that's why I'm
more than barely get by. Yeah.
I mean, like that's why I tell people all the time when I do beer reviews, I gotta pick and choose what I buy because I can't buy it in blocks like I want to.
Yeah.
I would love to spend $150 on craft beer and lay out all the reviews and time them out. But I gotta buy them as I go. Minus the homebrew stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm the perfect example of that. I mean, a lot of people they're making money, but not enough.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff has moved higher up than what the pay scales have.
And I break away with a lot of my conservative friends with this. I said raise the minimum wage, but not do it the way go to $15 an hour. I say do it a different way. Index it to inflation. But max it like 3 or 5%, particular percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the easy way of doing it. Is like when they did it up in Seattle, I've heard mixed stories about that. Now, I know here in Akron, they've been talking about it. And honestly, the citizens themselves don't want it. And it's pretty much yeah, we don't want it down. We don't want it here because the way the job market is set up.
Yeah.
And they got that pipe dream about getting Amazon. It's like, you don't want Amazon. Trust me when I say that.
Like an Amazon plan or whatever? Or shipping?
Well, that secondary office they want to build.
Oh, okay. Because we got an Amazon office down here.
No, not like the pickup store. I'm not talking about the second corporate office. They want it somewhere else in the country.
Office. Okay, got you.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's say I'm gonna use Akron. Akron's a perfect example of this. Let's say they built it here. Number one, where are you gonna build it? We don't have the land. We're landlocked. Number two, are you really ready? What's gonna happen? What happened to Portland and Seattle? You get big time companies like that, and the rents go way up. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I pay $375, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what in the world my camera just did.
Yeah, you put that to your picture.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, why would I know me and my landlord even talked about this. My rent would go from $375 to $600 immediately because he knows the money's there in town.
Yeah.
He came out and actually said that. So I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Yeah.
So I tell people, think before you jump and stuff like that.
I mean, I have no problem with a 15 minimum. I mean, I don't know. It's like the whole thing was like restaurant workers, people get all upset or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I said, if people actually knew how the full taxes actually work and they put it all together, we pretty much get kind of screwed in America.
Well, that's the thing.
When you put your federal, your state, your Social Security, all that stuff together, you're paid at pretty much the same amount like they are like in the UK, but they're getting a lot more services out of it. Or in Canada, they're getting a lot more services out of it. You know, people that have like a $15, like some of the restaurants I went to a 15 minimum, whatever, and you don't have to tip the waiters anymore.
Well, yeah, but everybody's different. Like with okay, I bartended for a while, so I know this firsthand from a bartender's perspective. If people really knew how much bartenders made, especially if they claimed their tips, you'd be shocked. I've seen many zero paychecks. many, myself included. Now, granted, minimum wage just went up this morning. I think it's like $6.15 now for tip servers, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you claim your tips, you're screwed. Unless you're in a really busy place that has a lot of tips.
Yeah.
So it was like, from that standpoint, and then I wish Tanya was here. I think San Francisco, they got to pay minimum wage to servers. But it's but a lot of people, as far as wages, let's be real, they need to make more.
Yeah.
And I hate to quote Rush Limbaugh. He said that 15 years ago. Minimum wage should be at least $10 an hour. Now, obviously, just for now, 12, 13, I'm not totally sure. I'm really not.
I mean, yeah, if you look at what economists have, I think economists are around that 14 or 15 level as well. When you look at the cost of goods and service over that period of time and where the wage should be.
I mean, will goods and service will auto jump because people, they know, making more money? That's my other concern.
Yeah.
And that's actually my main concern with that. If I'm paying for more, like my apartment scenario, would goods shoot up automatically? Now, I don't believe I don't believe the $8 Big Mac, but I believe it'll go up. The question is how much.
Yeah, if there's a tie-in to something like that and everything, there shouldn't be, but that is a concern that could happen as well.
By the way, I brought it up before you continue. Pro tip, I just thought of this. You want to know how the economy's going? Go ask your favorite bartender or waitress. They'll tell you. They'll tell you right up front. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, actually, I used to bartend back in college, but it was a little bit different because we were we got like minimum wage, but then we got our tips on top. But I got buddies that bartended here. The last couple of years, and they actually done pretty well with some of theirs. So one of the guys I was talking to, he doesn't do it now, but he did like last 2 years, and he would have he would get like $120, $200 a night or so.
Oh yeah, that's great. Especially if you don't claim them.
But it depends how busy you are as a bar and how many how well you're doing and stuff too. But as far as what the regular wage was, there probably wasn't that much of it. It
averages itself out unless you're in a really, really, really busy place. Yeah. So I know bartenders here in town make $50,000.
Yeah. You got to share your tips when you bartend?
I did not.
I know some places do and some don't. So
now last place I did it full time, the deal was obviously like any bar place, any place I served, I got the tip money. Now if I was in there just bar backing, for instance, they just pull it out. They just pull the money. Yeah. So it all really depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Now sharing tips, it's a gray area for me because there's so much level of trust in that especially depending where you work.
Right.
It's a real gray area. And so some places I know that do it here, it actually works out, benefits everybody, especially the diners.
Yeah.
Because it's so volatile for them. They have a real busy morning and nothing the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, working in the food service or liquor service industry, beer service industry, when you're in that, the right industry, like, can't remember what the name of it is. It begins with a C. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, when you're like that, kind of like the hotel type, you can kind of get screwed with some of the wage stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Hospitality.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen some of the wages out of there. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want people to get a leg up on the pile. Is that asking a whole lot?
Yeah. The bartender it's a fun gig, though.
You meet a lot of people. I couldn't do it anymore full time because my patience is so short.
Yeah.
So short. I used to go in on Saturdays, the last couple of years, and just bar back and stop. Yeah. That was it. You want to pour you a drink, that's fine, but I better know you well. I didn't mind doing. I get the girls the tips anyway, so it didn't matter, Right. Yeah, I did it off and on for 5 years. I was still my last day was Saturday. I was still the low man on the totem pole.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. After 6 years, still the low man. They don't move. They don't budge.
Yeah.
But they're so in. They've been there for 20 years, so they have their own personal crowds that come in.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And they love them.
Oh wow, Oklahoma just took the lead. Looks like.
Oh, did they? What score? What's the update on that?
Oklahoma 44-38, but Georgia had the ball. I don't know if somebody just intercepted it and ran it back, or because Wichita's on the bench. So yeah. Let's see. Took a handoff, fumble, and he scooped it. He scooped it and ran it back 41 yards for a touchdown.
He did what he was supposed to do. Then an opportunity took off with it. Maybe I should watch the Rose Bowl instead.
Well, what about UCF beating Auburn today? I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah, people were talking about that online.
That's a good credit to
UCF. UCF was good, was not that good to beat Auburn.
They were. I mean, they finished the season 13-0 now, and they were. I think last year they said they were 0-12 or something.
Yeah, they were 0-12. George O'Leary, their former coach, he booked into perfect seasons 0-4 and 0-4.
Would you talk about a complete turnaround? I mean, they pretty much handled Auburn the whole game for the most part. Their own mistakes led Auburn back into it.
Yeah, but the question is my question becomes, how strong was the SEC?
Well, I think they were. I think the SEC was actually like 1-4 or something before that game. So,
so they're paper champions then. Gotcha.
I mean, so Alabama plays next tonight. But right now, I mean, you got Georgia down. They may lose their SEC. And if Clemson beats Alabama, that'll be another loss.
Yeah. But Clemson's good, real good.
But Auburn was ranked number 7. And with Auburn, I mean, it was like, could UCF actually played if they would got into the playoffs against these other teams? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, it was like with UCF when they made the BCS a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I kept telling people they're good, but they're not that good. And let's be real, Baylor laid down for them. Yeah. So they straight laid down for UCF. This game, since I didn't watch it, I'm not sure. I don't want to go on the sports forums. Yeah. All those AAC fanboys be talking trash. Oh, they would too. How great they are.
Well, UCF, they might jump up by all said and done when they wrap it up this year. They might be like ranked number 5 or 6. I mean, they could be the emergence like in basketball with Gonzaga when they finally came out being like, hey, they were actually a good team.
Well, Gonzaga was good for a very long time for they got.
Yeah, but people underestimated. They were kind of like, one of the mid majors. Everybody kept calling them.
Yeah, but they were really good back in the 80s. Nobody's paid any attention.
Yeah. But now they're actually seen as a ball team. So yeah. Wow, big fumble, big return.
Wow, now I'm about to watch all the highlights tonight before I go to bed. Or they'll tell me tomorrow when I get to work.
Yeah, back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, same here. And it's like, honestly, these 4 days off, I really don't want to go back.
Yeah.
But this holiday weekend and last holiday went so quick.
Yeah, it kind of flew through for sure.
And it's like, and be honest with you, I really didn't do any web streams at all. I was a part of web streams, sure, but it's like I don't think I really. How many did I do? I was on maybe 2 or 3, if that. They've been all over the place.
Yeah, we just did the one Thursday night, and then I didn't even do like any other uploads. Really, I've been just kind of laying back. I did an upload today on one of the beers, but
yeah, like I was I actually have an upload to do, but the sound. But I had major sound issues, and it's like I'm really debating I'm going to upload it. But it's from Milliker, which I really get, and it's like I need to upload it anyway because it's the last Christmas ale I did for the season. Yeah. And I got messages up to Wazoo all of a sudden.
On your own comments?
Yeah. No. Oh. Okay, well, Tanya, this is on Facebook. Tanya finally she responded like a minute ago. Oh. Thank you for the invite. I'm playing with Mai today. I think her significant other. She means. I think.
Yeah, I sent her a thing on her phone, but she did respond back. I did see a message there. She's playing games with her son today.
Her son, okay. Like I didn't. Her significant other was a son. Wasn't totally sure the way it typed out.
Yeah.
No problems there because there's somebody I actually want to interview her for my series I was talking about on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I need to find somebody, hard left. Well, she's not okay, let me back that up. She's not hard left.
She's pretty left.
I mean, she's progressive, not like I'm talking about the SJW level left. She's not that. I know that, right? I won't deal with SJW.
What's SJW?
Social justice warrior.
Oh, no, she's pretty much SJW. I mean,
no, she's not. She's not like that angry point though.
No, she's not angry or anything.
No, she's not like that. No.
But she'll call people out on BS, which I like.
Well, she's called me out a couple of times, but it's I had to clarify. That's why she called me out.
I think from our conversation, she's kind of rubbed off on her on that. She doesn't now.
But like, I want to interview somebody moderate right, not moderate right. What I'm saying, hard right. But I want to have it in not a yelling, shouting conversation. That's what I was trying to convey on Facebook. Yeah. But in this climate, I don't know if I can do that. I don't.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, it just depends. I mean, you would interview somebody hard right.
I'm not talking like deep, like super Trump supporter, like that super red meat, not like that, right? But just red enough to where there's no yelling and screaming. We're having a logical conversation.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be a cable show. I don't. I want clicks, but I don't want them that bad. Let me tell you.
If they send you a cable check, you won't mind being a cable show.
Yeah. And I got some stuff, I got stuff like that planned, and I mean, even though we're not talking beer, I gotta get my laptop fixed. I'm gonna start doing live remote, so I got a lot of stuff going on into this year.
Right.
Provided the job I'm getting ready to take allows me to schedule to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going back in the commission sales field, and I already know I'm back on that 60 hours a week, and it's like it's all about timing at that point.
Yeah. You're like doing the cars and everything, right?
Yeah, I'm going back into cars.
No.
I mean, I want to, but I don't want to.
Why, you didn't like it?
No. Okay, I grew up with the car business. Okay. It's in my blood. But I promised my stepfather I'll at least go work for him for 6 months. I gave my word on that.
Yeah.
And plus, I need the money, too. I know I can make fast money ethically. I need the money to finance the beer.
And he runs a car business?
No, he's the finance director.
Okay.
And I already know everybody in the store because I've known him for a long time. So I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I really don't want to do commission sales, but I need the money.
Yeah. So it was like all straight commission?
Yeah.
No base or anything?
No. They might throw $500 at me, but you know what? If I can cover my rent, I'm cool.
Like draws or whatever too, No,
I can take a draw there. They even told me that. But it's stair step 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, which I didn't want to do. So
gotcha.
I had no interest in that. But I got some stuff working with like this channel and the other channels. So stay tuned. But we've been chatting for about what time? It's almost 9 o'clock. We've been chatting almost 2 hours.
Hell, really?
Yeah, I came online at 7:04.
Yeah, we've been going out a little bit then.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're gonna end this because I actually gotta go troll see if any of the beer guys are online tonight. I think there might Eric said he might be on tonight. He might have been on already. Yeah. Or Master Beer Reviews. He said he might be on. He might have been the only one.
Well, if you won, I could throw up a beer stream.
Okay, that's fine. But who's gonna be around? And I'm running low on beer because my neighbor brought me over half her case of Natty Light, so I'm drinking on that. No, but honestly, it was so cold. I didn't even left the house today.
Yeah, how cold is it up there?
It was when I looked earlier, it was like 10 degrees or something like that.
Oh wow, because we were like 8, I think, down here. So wasn't that going to be a little colder than?
Actually, according to the Weather Channel, it's 8 degrees right now, and the wind chill. We're on a wind chill warning right now. It's got to be like -10, -20.
Yeah, welcome. But I went out earlier. I drove to the store to get some stuff for dinner, and I was like, it wasn't really that bad to me.
You know what? I thought about ordering a pizza, and I'm thinking to myself,
feel it.
I thought about ordering a pizza, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to open the door. And I know I gotta go to work tomorrow, and it's gonna be ice cold, and tomorrow being Tuesday, I'm on trash duty at work, and it's like I'm not trying to deal with that.
Right.
They're gonna be go out and put Bobcat stuff in the dumpster, and I don't want to do that.
Sure.
But I tell you what, we're gonna jump off here now. For people to be watching on the replay, I thank you for watching. Now I want to thank Rod J. Rod J's beer reviews coming over talking politics tonight. And since you're not familiar with my show, that's what I always do. I say, everyone, thank you for watching, and always be careful and remember, Fiataroo. See you later, Rod.
See you, man.